Greenland is on the market. Not the whole island, but what it has to offer.
China wants to have part of this. The States, of course, with Trump even trying to buy Greenland. Russia, of course, also very interested. So the big boys are here.
The question is, can Greenland accommodate all those who are interested? Those who want to share both of what lies beneath, under the ice and below the waves, and a share of an as yet unexploited natural beauty. It's an isolated land, but it may not be for much longer. They want to open this all up, one of the great wilderness areas that we have, the biggest island in the world, with a population of less than 60,000 people. They want thousands and thousands more tourists to come here. What will that do to Greenland? Welcome to Beyond Borders. This vast northern country wants visitors. It's building new airports for what it hopes will be a wave of tourism from Europe and North America. It has minerals that outsiders are desperate for. But how can you keep the bad actors at arm's length? It is also surrounded by marine life that the country wants for itself, but which others argue is rightfully theirs. One private company says it hasn't ruled out legal action against the government if it's ordered to reduce the size of its catches. Unions say the privateers are paying too little and the government isn't doing enough with new laws. The two big companies, are they stealing from the fishermen here? Does that mean that you are poor and they are rich?
On trawlers, fishermen are working under very good conditions, but for the coastal fishermen, you don't have the heat, you don't have the protection of a big vessel. You need to live by the mercy of the wind, by the cold, by the waves. I think you need to be very tough in order to survive, not only because of the mercy of the nature, but because of the conditions that are being imposed politically and by the industry.
This independent fisherman is trying to boost his income with a YouTube channel because he says new rules mean that he's only just catching enough to get by. Danny Nielsen's viewers are going hunting.
This is my 222. It was a gift from my father. Got it in one shot. First shot of the day. If the seal poops, it means you're gonna get one more.
I love that part of the eye.
Don't drop it. Let's pick these up from here. There's two here, one here, two here, more over there. Oh, this is slippery. I want to go sliding down the hill. One slip and you're dead. Heading down. Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man.
Krista's life for that.
Just for some eggs.
Back in the dock and the day job, and the news is less exciting. What have you got in there?
These are roes. Lumpfish roe.
Today he's disappointed with the small catch of lumpfish, the roe of which he either sells or takes home to his family.
There aren't many at the moment. Just do it. And that's it. And just repeat.
And how much do you get for one fish?
We sell them by kilos, and I think we're getting around 26, 27 kroner per kilos. These barrels.
That's about 30 euros. No, sorry, 3 euros.
Right. These barrels, when they're full, they weigh about 120 kilos. We were doing 4 barrels a day last year, and that's drastically changed this year to about 1 at the moment, but hopefully it's gonna get better.
So what's the problem with the fishing industry at the moment then?
The prices are super low. Like, we recently just did a protest, but I don't think it did much. The fishing life is fun, and well, it could have downsides, of course, but I enjoy it.
What's the downside?
Downsides could be weather. The weather is becoming worse and less like calm days. The storms are they're getting more frequent.
Kuinapiko kissaatai aningaasan tungasillu annerisum aalisakkan pissarserusupпут таан илумууппоq кисианни каттуффиттут тунисассеерфиллу тааккуумарлу қалақатигисса таул акинасса уагиингитсеқ маангаан аалиангиссангиларпут акиқаффассуу тааман наалакерси сиултаасугулларам такорлуорникуарпут ааттассарсеернеқ аалисарнеқ такангааақарнеқ инууссисарсит аллал инерисарфиус тас тааккууссаассасит анигаасорсеерфис пингаарна тас аалисарн уллумиккутуулли пингаарнерпаат иниссимаиссаавоқ тау аққутаан ааттассарсеерфин аммааярторутит ассиингитсит акуулертиссаалтик тау миттарфиссуу тааккуа пилернерани пилерсарисеерти пилернаан такангааақарнерм аам тассан кивитсеқатаас.
The capital Nuuk's new airport is due to open at the end of 2024 and will massively increase tourism from around the 100,000 mark a year.
Where we're standing right now used to be a mountain. It has been blasted down and all the rocks have been moved down there and been filled up 2 meters at a time, layer by layer.
It will be able to take wide-bodied aircraft and increase routes between a number of European cities and also into Canada and the United States.
The first documents I have seen where they talked about a new airport was from 1978. So yes, we have waited a long time and it has been on the table a long time, but it's also a lot of money. I mean, the airport here and the airport in Ilulissat alone is around 4 billion Danish kroner. So it's a lot of money for a country this size. So it is really big investments we are doing here. I don't know of anywhere else in the world where you have changed an infrastructure so dramatically as we're doing here. For us here in Greenland, it's actually a change of the complete infrastructure and thereby also the opportunities that we have. The main issue will be how much capacity do we have in the city, how much accommodation do we have. You have to remember that even though I think we're building a very nice airport and a very modern airport, nobody comes to see an airport. They come to see the destination. So the airport is merely a tool to open up the opportunities for society.
So if there aren't yet enough hotels, then balancing expected demand with existing facilities is going to be difficult. Yet for those providing their share of Greenlandic adventures, the expected influx is exciting. We take a ride into the high mountains. This is a private snowmobiling club, but members are aware that there are commercial possibilities in what they have to offer.
Is it going to be good for you?
I think so. I mean, we just have to be careful with how many tourists we want, but it's also combined with the economy that we want to strengthen, and then you need tourism. It always has a flip side, you know, with the environment and the nature, how many people you can bring in. Then you need the hotels. They're building more and more hotels now.
But you can't build more beautiful places like this. That's the flip side, isn't it? You've got to be very careful.
Yeah, of course.
What's the downside for places like this?
I think it's mostly the danger of avalanche is growing because of the climate change. So you really have to use common sense when you go out.
There could be so many people it spoils it.
It's a good question. I mean, if you bring a lot, then it's not as nice. Then you have to go even further out to be alone. In North Greenland, I used to dog sled when I was a kid, so you can say that I have changed with time. I used to go on the dogs. In North Greenland now I take the snowmobile.
There are also less mechanized trips across the snow for those willing to brave the icy winds that cover a polar ice cap at some points 3 kilometers deep.
It symbolizes the way of living. You also feel free when you are out, and it's like also when you walk in the mountains. You can go anywhere with a dog sledge. Of course, not up all hills, but you can go everywhere you want to go with the dog.
Even when the snow retreats in spring and there's no work to do, the dogs that pull the sleds still need attention. Pure protein for them in the shape of musk ox, shot by local hunters. This dog owner is also a school teacher. His pupils come to learn about how best to care for the animals.
They are not like pet dogs in Europe, so you have to be aware of that. You have to trust yourself when you're with the dogs. Er du blevet fanget af en sten? Så, kom her. Arrivigne. He's not that clever. Arrivigne. Du mærk, Arrivigne. Dygtig. Maybe it will increase more, but I think there will be a level where you'll see not only for tourists, but also for the people that want to keep the dogs, because they are a part of culture and also of history. It's easier to jump on a scooter and then just go out in the nature. So I think that's one of the issues about the Greenlandic dog. If you don't learn about it, and if you don't deal with it, then probably in not so many years you won't see many dogs left in Greenland. This is Silla, and it's the last newborn. She was the only survivor out of 5 puppets, because it was in the winter time when she was born, and now it's nearly summer.
There's open water too for adventurers, as this boat skipper takes us along one of the country's longest fjords.
This is a huge place. we have fresh air, we have clean water, all of which the world is needing. So in 100 years, we're going to be the most rich nation in the world because we have that everybody wants. But that also makes it really dangerous to us, because if the world wants what we have, they will come and take it. We are extremely interesting for various reasons. Of course, our position on the globe, but also our minerals and resources we have here. We tried to tell Denmark that for a long time. We needed this and that, but they didn't really respond. And then we started flirting with some other big boys, and then Denmark woke up. That's why we're getting a new airport now. China wants to have part of this, the States, of course, with Trump even trying to buy Greenland. And Russia, of course, also very interested. So the big boys are here. I've had quite a few of them on board this ship, actually. Everyone on board this ship coming into the fjords will see this, and that makes them happy and glad and in good mood.
The blue you can see in there is an indication of how old and how pure the ice is. It's the only colour that can escape because of the pressure on the other ones. And if you take a look down here, how many chances do we ever have to see what they say about icebergs? That more than 2/3 of it is actually below the waterline. This is one piece that came off this relatively small iceberg. They think this was probably formed about 50,000 years ago. There is already one Greenlandic company exporting iceberg ice to the Middle East. But that is not the only way the ice is disappearing. A recent study in the science journal Nature says that every hour as much as 30 million tons of ice is melting, much more than had previously been thought, creating wetlands and exposing bare rock. This map shows how the south and west, where it's warmer, is seeing the ice cap retreat the fastest. And less ice means it will be cheaper and easier to reach valuable minerals. There are gemstones here, and it's claimed that Greenlandic rock contains 75% of the different elements needed for what's called the green transition, including vast quantities of lithium. And then there's uranium. An Australian mining company is suing Greenland for $11 billion after a new Greenlandic government banned the extraction of uranium. Naya Nathanielson's job is to get the best mining deals for her country, and Greenland can't do it with just its own people.
I'm definitely seeing a larger amount of interest from both the European Union, from the States, and from companies.
You want other people in other countries to come in because they have the money, they have the expertise, etc.
Yes.
Why don't you develop it yourself and make the wealth simply for the people of Greenland?
Well, we don't have that sort of money. I think mining is very high risk. It's long term, so and it takes a lot of time and money, and we don't have that, just basically. So what we have to do is to get other companies to come in and develop the mines, and make sure that we get our share from the first part of the value chain, because we don't have production companies in other part of the value chain. So we only have the commodity.
It's not simply what Greenland has, but where it is, strategically vital to northern supply routes and therefore a target in times of conflict. Denmark is a member of Nato and looks after Greenland's defences. When he was president in 2018, Donald Trump put it on his shopping list.
Aningaasat qani ammerlatiis kalaal ataasiakkaa tunneqassanersit nunarput tunneqariasaassigiluorput ila taawa taamat akiwaa qanorluun aningaas nunarsuum ammerlatigiluorpata uagit nunarp tunnaviangilarp qanorluunni pisuungortigiluuttaliinni inut ataasiakka tunnissangilu.
But even with Trump rebuffed and as other countries show increasing interest in what Greenland has, the Americans are still in a position of real power.
Biggest power of them all, the Americans, are there already. They have a very far-reaching defense agreement with Denmark, which covers Greenland and gives them actually very wide access to Greenlandic territory. And they have a big air base in Thule, up in the northern most part. But we have seen also that the Chinese have shown a lot of interest, and potentially also the Russians could be quite interested in Greenland because of its strategic importance. Nobody is expecting a big Russian invasion, but there could be, and there probably has been, intrusions into Greenlandic waters, perhaps also into the territory. It's very difficult to monitor this huge region. We are buying, or we're going to buy new ships at some stage, and we are investing a lot in modern technologies, satellite systems, drones, and so on, that can help us monitor the territorial waters and the territory of Greenland.
So isolated are many of Greenland's communities that a huge responsibility falls to Royal Arctic Lines. Without these ships, nothing would get in or out.
We are, so to call, a critical infrastructure. So we are the lifeline of Greenland. If we don't sail, no food getting in, no supplies to Greenland, or no export getting out. So we are very critical to the society. So we are put into this world to secure the supplies for Greenland. That's our main task right now.
And as much as the fishermen have told us they think the two main seafood processing companies are undercutting them, those very companies say they're having to deal with price rises imposed by Royal Arctic Lines. Both ends of the fishing market feel hard done by.
How difficult is it then to draw the line between social responsibility and profit?
It's very difficult. We are not put into this world to make huge profit. We are put into this world to secure the supplies for Greenland, to and from Greenland, but also to keep the rates as low as possible. But we are still a company, and we have to live up to the regulation about running a company in Denmark.
And all this has led to an investigation of the way that Royal Arctic is run, and the possibility that one day it may face competition. Yet more changes for a country in transition. In the more remote communities, such arguments may not even be heard. This is Kappasillit, only reachable by boat, and where catching duck for dinner is the one thing on this man's mind.
Vi skal spise om aftenen med suppe.
He doesn't have a job, lives with his father, and is unlikely to feel the winds of change blowing through his homeland. At the village store, however, this woman and her niece are preparing for change.
When you're an adult, do you think you will still be here in this village?
I don't think so. I will visit, but I don't think I will be staying here.
Skulle fiska den aborfio Johanna. Man skulle fiska ut annikinnermittao allakap illoqarfimmat.
Will it one day be empty?
Ksaatiingilara. Takornarisset mang amerlaneritsikittalissapata sanaartortoqarniarami. Taawa inuerunnissai ilmainnilara.
So, across the generations, these two both know that change is coming. What they and nobody else can guess is how much of a change there will be, and where that will leave them.